New guidelines from the American Academy of Pediatrics suggesting electronic screens don't need to be taken away from kids, but instead thoughtfully supervised.
Our Abrea Ruffin joins us live from FSU with more on that. Abrea, what do these new guidelines entail?
Yeah, Julie, for parents, some of those new guidelines are shifting away from time restrictions and focusing more on content. I'm told that some kids are doom scrolling or engaging in media that could be unhealthy on social media and other platforms. The director of FSU's Children Learning Clinic says that not only is monitoring content important, but also looking at how kids are coping with emotions, sleep health, physical activity, and communication skills. The American Academy of Pediatrics' new report shares warnings for parents on balance and awareness. Singh says critical thinking, emotional, and social development should be at the forefront when kids are glued to a screen. In terms of age groups, Dr. Singh says infants and toddlers should have very limited to no screen time at all, as it severely impacts development. She also says that these guidelines should include both a child and parent needs.
Let's think of this holistically and as a child is embedded in this system. And so we have to think about the child and their individual characteristics, strengths as well as vulnerabilities that, every kiddo will have a different reaction to experiencing media. So thinking about it at that level, thinking about it at the parent caregiving levels.
Dr. Singh says setting clear goals and boundaries around screen time can help parents manage their child's consumption and enforce healthy habits. For an in-depth look at what those new guidelines that we mentioned details or more from Dr. Singh, you can head to our website at WCTV.tv. Reporting at Florida State, Abrea Ruffin, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right, Abrea, I feel a lot of parents always anxious to learn more about screen time. Thank you.